Hey there, and welcome to episode 35 of Cast Reflect. I'm your host Josh, and I'm joined as always by Connell, Luke the Truth Jennings.
Oh, your voice was getting a bit there, wasn't it?
Going a little bit croaky, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah. I'm going to leave it in. Screw it.
Liked it.
We'll do it live.
Liked it.
Yeah, how you been, mate? You alright?
Yeah, not too bad. Had surgery recently.
Oh yeah, you did on your arm, right?
Yeah. It's alright.
Go on then, what?
Oh, I
They
just
got
had
it
to
out?
get a lump taken out of my arm, didn't I? So, just got that done. So yeah, but it's been alright. It's just quite itchy. I think it's healing.
Oh, that's good, yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah,
Is
I get
it,
the stitches out on Friday.
Oh, nice, man. Bet you can't wait for that.
I've never had it before.
What?
I've never had stitches removed.
Really?
No.
Oh, you just get the butterfly. Is it the butterfly ones that just undo themselves? Is that a thing?
Yeah, well, you can get dissolvable ones, can't you?
Yeah, I don't know where I'm getting butterfly stitches from. Maybe
I
I've
think
just
they're a
made
type of stitch.
Right, like
I think
maybe the way they
they
maybe
might
the way
be
they
the
stitch
ones. They might be the ones that you can just buy to do yourself.
them. Right,
know.
butterflies.
I'm just guessing.
No, I've never. I think I'm just.
They're also known as steri strips. Yeah, they're the ones that you can like buy on Amazon.
Right, okay. Do it DIY stitches. Have you? How's your arm? Is it getting better?
I think so. To be honest, it hurts less than the lump did, so that's good.
Excellent. Well, that's progress, isn't it?
What you want to hear. Lovely chat for the pod as well.
Oh yeah. Has it stopped you gaming?
A little bit.
A little bit. Okay. Have
yeah,
you been?
I tried to
playing
rest
anything?
it over the weekend.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I have. I've been playing. I jumped back into Peglin.
Right. Yeah. This is that game that you told me about way back in one of the earlier episodes. Of the
Yeah.
podcast,
Well, I
wasn't it?
got it when it was in its first iteration still, and
Yeah.
so I hadn't played it for a while. I basically got quite far in it originally, put it
Yeah.
down, left it to the side to marinate, and they've done a load of updates on it. So there's like
Nice.
4 new classes that you can play as. There's new enemies and new balls with new abilities and things like that. So lots to experience. I've unlocked one of the classes who gets like bouncy. So there's different like benefits that each character has. The first one that you start with gives you like an extra option at each treasure chest to choose from.
Right.
So you have when you have 2, so you can sort of be a bit more. You have a bit more control over the sort of like build that you're going for.
Yeah.
But then the new guy gets like extra bonuses in terms of like I can't remember. It's like a bounce thing. Like
Right.
you get more bounces or whatever.
Yeah.
But you only get one option at each treasure chest, so you just get what you're given basically.
Okay.
And the things that you get at the treasure chests will give you like buffs or like different bonuses. So like you gain health every time you reload, or like bombs blow up in 1 hit instead of 2.
Oh, okay. And these are all new ones they've added in, like since you've.
The 2 examples I gave weren't, but the ones that they've added in are like spinfection.
Right. Yeah, like it.
So every time you do damage to an enemy on their turn, they get like a multiplier. So they do a multiplier of 10 damage for however many spinfection they have. And
Right.
then you can get
okay.
different buffs from like the treasure chest that would be like whenever you apply spinfection to one enemy, double the amount or whatever.
Right. Got ya. So
you
you're
can go
enjoying
for
it
like
again?
a build, it's like a roguelite build.
I was gonna
So I
say,
suppose
that's
it's
what I
like
was gonna
Peggle, right? If anyone doesn't remember from
I actually was going to ask because I couldn't remember exactly what the game entailed.
It's like Peggle, so you fire a ball at lots of pegs on a screen, and the more you
Yeah.
hit, the better multiplier you get. But at the same time, it's like you do damage to enemies. So each round just like has enemies, and they've got different attacks that they can do and stuff. So you have to like defeat some of them in particular ways.
Right. Okay.
'Cause some of them will
okay.
have shields, and some of them will be like long range and stuff like that.
So you need to use specific attacks, or is it balls? I'm assuming
Balls.
that do damage over certain like
Yeah, and
attributes
some
or
of them
whatever.
will like go through multiple enemies at once and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I remember you telling me about it when we chatted about it originally, and it sounded really, really good. And I haven't played it, but
It's wicked, mate.
is it multiplayer?
No, it's not. You asked that last time.
Did I?
Yeah.
It's a good memory. That's a good memory. That was one of the earlier episodes as well.
It was, yeah. And obviously everyone who's listening has listened to everyone probably multiple times
Exactly.
at this point. So that's why I didn't mention what the game was like. Because everybody already knows.
Everyone should already know if they've done their homework. Nice. Have you been playing anything else, or just that really? Just because I imagine that's quite chilled.
Yeah, it's quite easy. It's just one hand on the mouse. I was eating it whilst I was eating it.
I was eating the game while I was playing it.
I was playing it whilst I was eating my stir fry for dinner.
Nice. So that's kind of not very labour intensive on the old arm then.
Nah.
Nice. Is it just that you've been playing basically?
Yeah, really. Yes. That's about.
I mean, I'll let you off this week, and probably next week's episode, just because you have had a lump cut out of your arm.
Appreciate it. Really worried that the lump contained my gaming ability, so I'm just going to be rubbish at everything.
Oh, mate. I guess. Well, you never know, dear. Maybe we'll play a little bit more Counter-Strike, and we can test that theory. Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But I've nearly completed Super Mario Wonder. Nice. I'm on the last level.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, I love it. Well, no, I do love it, but this last level is seriously fucking hard. Like,
is it?
So difficult. For anyone that's going to play it and that doesn't want to know, I would say skip forward a few minutes. It's not like a massive spoiler. Like, there's obviously different worlds, and then there's a special world, like a bit like Super Mario World, like Star Road, where the levels up there are like really difficult. They're like really challenging. So we've done all of them. Me and Carly have been playing it. We've done all of those. Did the one in the middle, and then we did the final test, which was like this. What it's called, like the Wonder Gauntlet, and it's like a mishmash of all like the different areas and the different mentalness that comes with like the Wonder Seeds. Really, really good. Aced it, and then it was like, right, you got one last level, which is called the final test.
Right.
And it's basically a combination of like sort of mini gauntlets, but they're all based on the different badges that you get in the game. So all the badges you get as you collect as you go around the map, you can equip one at the start of each level, and each one gives you like a different ability. The first one you start with, fuck me.
The first one you start with.
The first whiz you start with. The first one that you start with is the parachute cap, so it's like really good utility. Like you can stop yourself falling into a spike pit quickly. You can go an extra distance, that sort of thing. So basically, me and Carly use that for like the whole game. So we've not really we've tried a few of the other badges, like depending on some of the coins you have to get, you might need a specific one. So this level, is like a gauntlet of different badges.
So you just got to use all the ones that you've never done.
And the first one is the parachute cap, and I was like, flew through it. I was like, absolutely aced it.
Next.
And then, obviously, they just keep getting harder and harder, and the badges get more and more difficult to sort of.
How many have you got to?
So I've left it on rest mode at the moment because I got to the second checkpoint. So,
you don't want to be here, do you?
I just really want to go and finish it. No, I was playing it last night and it got to about 11:20. I'm stuck on this bit. So I think there's 3 challenges and then there's a checkpoint, but obviously you have to do the whole level in one go. So I've left it there. I've used 22 lives already, and I had 50, and I think I'm on 28 now. It might even be less than that. About 20 of those lives I've used on this last section, and I don't even know if it's the last section yet. So there might be another checkpoint, and obviously if I run out of lives, I've got to start the whole thing again. Luckily, you can buy 99 lives for like 300 of these purple coins, but I've only got 600 of them, so I've got 2 strikes. I've got 200 lives, effectively,
Can
which
you
sounds
buy the purple
mental.
coins for real money?
No, because Nintendo aren't savage like that.
So you just be like throwing your money. Next week's pod, you're like, finished it. I am 200 quid down.
Cost me 200 quid. But it's really good overall. It's such a good game. It's stunning. It makes you just feel so much joy. Like legitimately, it's hard not to play it like with a smile on your face at times.
Mm.
The wonder seeds are the best thing about it. The way they just turn the level like quite literally upside down sometimes. But anyone that's into Mario who's not played this, definitely get it because it's fucking brilliant. And that's basically all I've been playing at the moment because we kind of got towards the end and we're like, right, we can do
Power
this.
through,
And then
yeah.
when we complete it, hopefully tonight, hopefully, we're gonna get stuck into Alan Wake 2. So
Ooh.
that's a little incentive to finish Mario. But yeah, we're
Yeah.
nearly there. Right, this week we're gonna have a little chat about some competitive video games,
We are.
and in particular Counter Strike 2 because we've been playing it a bit recently.
We have testing it out.
I have delved in, so
First game since Source.
yeah, this is the first Counter Strike game. Well, I played CS:GO for about an hour, 2 hours,
Yeah.
and didn't like it. I used to play a lot of CS Source when I was younger, back in the old eQuest days. But yeah, we've just been playing Wingman, haven't we, to start with? Because you're quite
Yeah.
a seasoned Counter Strike player. You played a shitload of CS:GO. I played none of it effectively, and yeah, we've just been doing Wingman. You've been absolutely wingmanning me, like carrying me through most of the maps.
Hey, you can't be a wingman without another wingman.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That's the rules.
Them's the rules on that one. But it's good. I'm enjoying it. Like I have no sort of preconceptions as to what has made this better or worse.
Yeah,
This
which I
game.
find quite interesting.
Yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I do want to play some more of that soon.
Yeah.
Like I should say I've only played Wingman, so I've not played with a team of 5 yet,
Yeah.
and I can't be arsed with dickheads on the headset. So I don't know how I'm going to
Yeah.
get on with that when
That's
I
what it's
try
up
it.
and down with us.
Yeah,
so.
well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, sometimes I just have to call it when we're playing. But yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts on it, man, because you've obviously played loads of Counter Strike, and it's had kind of mixed. Well, I say it's had mixed. It had a really really bad
Yeah.
start, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it's the lowest rated Valve game on Steam.
Yeah.
Because of the changes they made, and I have no idea how those changes have impacted the general play of the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want you to essentially divulge and tell me why.
Yeah. And
If you can be asked.
Nah, I can't actually.
Let's just call it.
There's so like the first thing that I want to point out is CS:GO had a terrible launch.
Okay.
Everyone hated it. Everyone loved 1.6. Wanted to stay on that.
Yeah.
And whether it's for the right reason or not, or sorry, whether it's for good, like for good or not, what they've done now differently is they have released Counter Strike 2 over CS:GO, so you can't play CS:GO anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
That game's gone; it doesn't exist.
This is actually one of the things I wanted to talk to you about, but I think you probably will bring it up in a second.
So they've done that,
Yeah.
and there's a reason that they've done that. Whether and personally, I don't know if it's a good thing or whether I believe it's a good thing or not. I understand they've done it for a specific business reason, and I understand why.
Yeah.
So when they released Counter-Strike Global Offensive, they didn't do that, and it split the player base, and then they had to support 2 games at the same time, which hampered the progression of Counter-Strike Global Offensive and slowed the development of it.
Yeah. Which makes sense. Like, you're always going to have that, like, you know, die-hard community of fans that are obsessed with that particular game, like the original or like 1.6.
But especially when it's, I mean, Counter-Strike fans are very vocal.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
over tiny things. So, you know, a brand new game, obviously people are going to go mad.
They're going to kick off about, aren't they?
But especially when it's like a competitive shooter or a competitive game where like milliseconds matter and like if you're changing the entire game, they moved it to a different engine, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be so hard to make it exactly the same. Like, because if you've spent 1,000 hours in a competitive game, you're gonna like notice the imperceptible
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Every minute detail.
So I don't know. I think they've absolutely smashed it out of the park in terms of actually be like pulling it off, and they did it like in a time frame which isn't you like, and actually pretty much nailed the time frame that they said they were going to do it in, which isn't always Valve's way.
No.
Quite often they'll leave you hanging. But then I also see the other side, and I understand a lot about what people are complaining about, and some of it isn't great. But like I say,
What are people complaining about specifically?
well, an
Because
obvious
this is like
one.
this is the bit I like I said, I have no comparison to make with it. So
Yeah.
when I played it, I was like, oh, I quite like this. This is all right.
So there's other game modes that aren't in it. So I think
Okay.
I mentioned to you the other day in CS:GO there was a battle royale mode which I didn't like, but some people played it. That's not
Yeah.
in Counter Strike 2. There's also gun game. I can't remember, arms race I think it's called. But
Right.
like gun,
Okay.
it's
Yeah.
just gun game where every kill you get a new weapon and first person
Yeah.
to the knife wins. That's not in it. Surfing, which is like a movement based activity. I don't know. I don't do it. I can't do it.
No.
That's really popular. It's not in CS2, and they are listening, and they are bringing out updates. And the newest update added in workshop maps and things like that.
Right.
There's like
Okay.
microphone bugs that people complaining about that got fixed. The When you pull out the knife on the first slash of the knife, it would do less damage if you'd only just pulled it out. So they
Right.
patched that so it does full damage. There's
Yeah.
like loads of little things like that, which is really common. But
Yeah.
like what
But
they've said is they're going to keep adding to it as it goes, and it will become the game everyone wants it to be.
yeah, I think they are obviously a very, very talented developer, aren't they? Valve, like they've made some of the best like especially first person. They probably made the most successful competitive first person shooter ever made. Then
They've probably made a
Half-Life.
couple of them.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like even Team Fortress and Team
Yeah,
Fortress 2 were like huge as well. They obviously know what they're doing, and as you said, if the CS:GO launch wasn't great, you look at that community at the tail end of it, like people absolutely loved it, didn't they? That like people had their issues with it, I think, but
yeah. It's funny.
overall,
I saw a YouTuber who was like taking comments on the internet from CS:GO's launch off of Reddit and CS2's launch from Reddit, and then was
right?
just like putting the words side by side and then like trying to guess whether it was about CS:GO
Oh,
or CS2.
really? Because they're just so similar.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Like I do think it's a bit naughty that they've copied, effectively copied over, cut and pasted, like CS2 over the top of
Yeah.
CS:GO. Because that article that you sent me as well, like, raises a really good point that all the reviews are basically earned from CS:GO.
Mm.
So all the reviews that were given CS:GO are now effectively Counter Strike 2. So they've just changed that game
Yeah.
effectively to be this new game, and it's like, oh yeah, look how highly rated it is, and look at all this community stuff, and it's like this isn't the same game though.
Yeah. But that's
Which I do
where
find bizarre. I do find that really bizarre.
the success of like Fortnite has changed the idea of what a game is as well, and like the what's it called, like lifetime games or evolving games that don't.
So the
They're not
free to
released.
play that have like a trickle of microtransactions, like
Yeah, and they develop and
it's a
change
subscription
the map over
effectively,
time.
isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a subscription. It's like you either
games
pay,
as a service.
yeah, you either pay 60 quid for it, or you pay you know say 8 quid every 2 to 3 months,
Yeah,
but to support the game, and then they've made even more, haven't they? For the time,
yeah. So it's changed the landscape a little bit, and
yeah.
like you can't.
Seismically, I'd say Fortnite
Some
had anyway.
Some of the like complaints that I see about CS2 are I just don't agree with as well. Like I don't think you can deny that the game now looks more in line with like modern games. Not even
Yeah.
just the graphics. Like although the graphics, but not just the graphics.
Hmm.
Like the UI, the menus, the way that the game like just feels
Yeah.
as you navigate through it feels more like a modern game now.
Yeah.
And even like the animations between maps and like when it's got your little team group photo or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. No, no, I know what you're saying. Like, it's got that, it's got that modern polish to it now. Like,
Yeah,
it's, like that
which
you'd expect
CS:GO
from a
did lack.
AAA developer.
And like the utility, like the smoke grenades. If there's people complain about the smoke grenades, because I showed you when we played that match, you can like throw another grenade into the smoke and disperse it, so you can see through
Yeah.
it for a second. You couldn't do that in CS:GO.
Wouldn't that happen in real life? Like, isn't the whole point of Counter Strike is supposed to be really realistic? Isn't
Yeah,
it?
but even like that aside, because it's still a video game at the end of the day,
Yeah.
but that gives you opportunities to make more tactics or do different strategies that you couldn't do before. It's like it's only a good thing. So not
Yeah.
only do they look better, but they also are improving the
Mechanics as well.
mechanics of the game.
Yeah. Because I've always thought Counter Strike's that game where like it's designed to be, not hyper realistic, but it is supposed to be that really realistic feeling shooter, right? Like
I th-
all of the weapons have like their own recoil and things like that, and it is
yeah.
like one shot in the head and you're dead most of the time. So those changes, like adding the flashbang into the smoke and stuff, like
Mm.
people have got issue with that, and I'm not exactly sure why. Do you think it's just change? Maybe it's just change.
Yeah.
People don't
People
like it, do
hate
they?
change, don't they?
Yeah,
You get used to it, and then I guarantee because you remember things so through rose tinted glasses nostalgically, and I bet like give it like Counter Strike is like 10 years old. Give it another 10 years when CS2's
yeah,
at its at the 10-year anniversary, and then Valve should do like for a week we're just reverting back to CS:GO.
yeah, yeah, and
and
see
then
what
and it's
people
like
think. Yeah,
see if you really do enjoy it more,
yeah,
and then just do like the 10-year in peak version of CS:GO, and I bet everyone would be
yeah.
like, "This is so much
This is
worse."
day and night. Yeah, yeah. Are you enjoying it? What
I
you've played of
am,
it so far?
I am
Yeah,
really enjoying
like
it. I think
overall, like because
I'm worse at it,
yeah,
definitely.
not as bad
It
as me.
feels different. The like sub tick rate, whatever it's called, thing has like it does feel different.
Yeah,
Um, so it's I don't know. I just have to get used to it, I suppose. But then I was never like super competitive or anything. I just enjoyed playing it.
you played a lot of it, didn't you? I think you and Jack,
Yeah,
obviously Jack played loads, but you played a healthy amount or an unhealthy
an
amount, depending on
unhealthy amount
the
is
way you look
probably
at it.
more accurate.
Yeah, I mean, like when I used to play Fortnite, I played it for about 600 hours, like one summer when
Mm.
it first sort of came out, and it was amazing. Like it was a legitimately amazing competitive like battle royale game.
Yeah,
What like one of the best I've played. Like if not the best in my opinion. The original, like the first like 6 or 7 seasons, and then like they started adding changes in. Obviously, it made a buckload of money. They started doing these, uh, sponsors and deals with Marvel and Disney and all this stuff,
hmm
and even to the point where like different video game characters are in it now. And I get it. It's they've definitely tapped into like it's kids basically that play it effectively, isn't it? Like a lot of kids play it, so we've got to kind of tap into that a bit more. But I play it now. Like I played it about I don't know 6 7 months ago, and it was just shit. It was just shit.
There's so
Like
much going on.
they've changed so much, and like it's not the same game as it was, but for the worse, if you know what I mean. And
And
weirdly, they've released this season which has gone back to the old school. You know, the weapons, the balancing.
yeah,
There's no vehicles in it or anything like that. There's no Wolverine running around with his fucking blade hands. There's not a Jedi running around with a lightsaber. And I'm genuinely tempted to go back and play it again,
Yeah,
like with a
I
couple of
think it's
people.
been their
Cause,
most successful season in quite a while.
well, I saw, just to digress quickly, but it had like 5.5 million concurrent players the other day,
That's ridiculous.
and there was like a 45-minute wait to get in.
That's
and
ridiculous.
and that is just pure evidence of the fact that how good that game used to be,
Yeah,
and how they've made a shitload of money and they obviously have a load of people playing it still, but how far it's fallen, to see that many people come back and play it is pretty astonishing, to be honest.
yeah.
And I
It's
think
interesting, isn't it?
Counter-Strike 2 hopefully will have the opposite effect of that, where people maybe have got their issues with it now. Hardcore CSGO players have got their issues with it, but it's shit. But at the end of the day, they've just got to cop for it now and get on, because they're not having their old game back, unfortunately,
Yeah,
which is a bit sad. But I think it will be better. Like you said, Valve are listening to the fans.
and I don't think it's bad. Like you said, I've been enjoying it. We had fun playing it.
Yeah, when I played it, like I was like, this is a good game. This is how I remember Counter-Strike, but with like modern visuals and extra mechanics and things like that.
It shows how much of a roller coaster it's been though, because so there was 3 articles that I sent over to you, separate ones.
Yeah.
And like the time of events here. So on October 5th, Polygon posted an article titled Counter-Strike 2 pulls off a monumental task. And they basically go in, and a lot of it is like about the visual upgrades, smoke effects, lighting, textures, all of that sort of stuff, and how much of a incredible job they've done.
Yeah.
Basically putting the whole game over onto a new engine is not a small task. Then the October 11th, so 6 days later,
Yeah.
ESI posted an article, Counter-Strike 2 is now the lowest rated game in Valve history.
Yeah.
Safe to say it's not highly regarded in the shooter fandom. Most players are nostalgic for Counter-Strike Global Offensive. So basically an article on all of the down reviewing, or like whatever it's called, spam reviewing, because everyone's unhappy.
Yeah.
It also talks about how some big streamers like Shroud said that he thinks it's going to be the death of the franchise.
Yeah, that's a bold statement as well.
It's a big statement, isn't it? He used to be a pro CS player, CSGO player. But then at the end of that article, it says, whilst CS2 has been getting a lot of complaints, it's still quite popular. Over the weekend, it peaked its concurrent, had a peak concurrent player count of 1.2 million.
Yeah, so still a lot of people playing it at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah,
like
and then
a load of people.
Exactly. So it's still being played a lot. It's and then less than a month later, so November the 3rd, latest CS2 update is so good that the community is thanking Valve for the first time in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is like the one that I mentioned earlier, where they fixed the microphone bug, the knife hit registration, and things like that. They added in the workshop, and generally the consensus is pretty positive.
Yeah, so, like the we're walking in the right direction now.
Exactly, but I don't know. I suppose what I'm trying to say is everyone's very vocal about it because it's a super popular game. It is the biggest change you can make to a game.
Yeah.
Essentially, deleting it and making it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's...
You're just replacing it with something that's, like, not completely different, but different enough that the change is kind of... The ripple effect's, like, quite big, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah. So, I think it's going to be rocky, but I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait to see, like, what 2024 is going to look like for it, with different updates and stuff coming in.
Yeah, I totally agree, man, and I'm really excited to kind of keep playing it and see that change properly as well. Like I didn't have that with CS:GO. I hope I stick with it. I hope I don't get to the point where I'm like, I'm no good at this game. Do you know what I mean? And
well, I think you had some great rounds.
I had a few good rounds.
Got your first clutch.
Had a few good rounds. I'm good with a pistol. I'm good in that first round, and then I'm still struggling with like the AK. Like that is fucking hard
Doing
to
all
aim.
right with a P90, mate.
Yeah, oh mate, the P90's my favourite weapon at the moment. Just an absolute fucking just
Run and
blast it.
spray.
Yeah, spray and pray, mate. But no, I am really enjoying it. I'm enjoying playing it with you. Like it'd be good to play a proper, a few proper matches. I think I'd want to earn my wings first, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like learn the lingo a little bit, learn the mechanics a bit more, learn some little tricks and stuff, and then if I learn that, I'll happily go into a 5v5 competitive match.
Well,
Not necessarily competitive, but I just because I don't care if my skill level's shit. Like if I'm shit at it, it's like whatever. I'm shit. Who cares? But if I know the mechanics and know what I'm doing is the right thing to do, and my shooting's let me down, then I don't care about that.
yeah, yeah.
Like personally, obviously I want to win and help the team win, but if people are going to be like, "Oh, you're shit," I'll be like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah, I know. I've got a job.
Played this game for about 5 hours, mate.
Um,
Yeah, and I've got a job.
but also, like, one of the things that I like about CS2 is that there's sort of two other levels that we can play on in 5v5. So there's competitive, and
Yeah.
then you get an individual rank, like badge rank for each map individually.
Yeah,
And then you've got Premier, which is the same, but puts you in like a queue with a team. Everyone's elo is there, so you can see everyone's elo,
yeah.
and you'll have to vote for which map you're going to play on and stuff. So
Right,
it's like
okay.
the highest competitive mode in the game. Well, like within the actual game, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we can like work our way up. So if we move from Wingman, we can just go into competitive, play a couple of maps,
Yeah.
play Inferno. We know Inferno. You'll have to learn the other half of the map, but
Yeah, that's all right, though.
We'll
like,
move on to it.
it's baby steps, isn't it?
But then you would just get a rank for Inferno individually. So
Oh, okay, so you have map-specific ranks, right?
yeah. So when you like, which is really good for new players, because when you start playing, if you just put all of the maps in the queue, you might like rank up a bit on Mirage because you're really good on Mirage, and then suddenly it chucks you into Nuke. You've never played it, and you're like, oh, I'm just against like people who are the same rank as me in Mirage, which I've played
Yeah,
100
who
times.
know the map really well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. I'm looking forward to playing a bit more of it. Like, we should do some this week. I wanna keep, because it's a streaky game, isn't it? Like if you drop the ball, or if you're busy for a couple of weeks and you don't get a chance to play it, it's
the cobwebs build.
yeah, and I'm sure like you get the hang of it again and you start to pick it up. But it's one of those games that if you're not playing it regularly, you're kind of you're only ever gonna get to a certain ceiling, right? Otherwise, you're just stuck.
Much
there,
like Rocket League, mate. Much like Rocket League.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like we got to
Champ.
we got to champ, and it was like fucking when we got to diamond in duos, we were like, that's it.
That's it.
That's our ceiling. That's our ceiling. And then we just kept playing it, and it was like fucking got to champ, but without going off on a massive digression, like that game when you get to champ, it is completely fucking different.
Yeah.
It's like the jump up is insane. Do you know what I mean?
But that's where I think
Absolutely
like
insane.
Counter-Strike, I never really got past that jump up.
Yeah.
Because you almost have to play like with a full team. You have to have comms. Like if you want to get to that level, you have to actually.
Yeah, because there's no solo mode in it, is there?
No, not really. No, unless you're like super confident and really vocal, whilst loads of people are just shouting at you all the time.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing I couldn't be doing with it.
You either have to be a charismatic enigma,
Yeah,
and like completely win over every team of people that you play with, solo queuing,
yeah,
or you just never speak and don't rank up.
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing. You've got to come out of your shell, haven't you? But it's a good sometimes you get games and you have genuinely like really helpful players on there that are like really supportive, really positive, and then they're like like next time we should do this. Yeah, that's it. 1 in 10. Yeah, about 10%.
That might be generous as well.
Yeah, that might be generous, to be fair, but unfortunately, that's the byproduct of competitive video games, isn't it? You just
Exactly.
people are in to win, and they don't have anything else to do with their lives. So if you're
And
shit, then you can fuck off in their eyes.
they have a belief that they're anonymous because they're not like saying it to you in person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're empowered by that, aren't they?
Yeah.
By anonymity.
Or stupidity.
Yeah, or both. Yeah, yeah.
You got your first skin as well.
I did. Yeah, I've already spent £2 on it. I've already spent £2. I got a little box, and I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go buy a little key for that." And I opened it, and I got a shit little skin. But
P2000 lifted spirits.
he knows it. He knows it. Field tested, was it?
Yeah.
Is that the one?
Field
or was
tested.
it like worn? Like
6p.
6p, pathetic. But like save it up, save after the pennies, and the pounds look after themselves, don't they?
But what's good is you could just sell that case for like £1 and then buy a £1 skin, like that you actually want.
Yeah, that's true. But then it's like the gamble, isn't it? It's the excitement of the gamble.
It is gambling, yes.
It is effectively gambling, yeah. That is basically what you're doing, isn't it? It's like you're spending money. Yeah, yeah. But then it's like you don't get the rush, do you? It's like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? I'd pick that over.
You got to use my Galil.
Oh yeah, with your fancy, what was it? Was it white and black?
White and green.
That's the one, white and green. Yeah, look like
Galil
a gun from
Eco.
Apex. Yeah.
In my race
good.
car AK.
I mean, you got some mad skins on that game. To be fair, at least they carry over.
Yeah, they do,
CS:GO.
and they look so much better, most of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Couple
I
of
mean,
them look a bit strange.
imagine that. Like that would have just caused a fucking meltdown.
It
wouldn't
did.
in the community. Well, yeah, but the skins.
Oh right,
carry
if they
over,
didn't
though.
carry.
Yeah,
over.
if they didn't
I meant
carry over.
there was a meltdown because people were like moaning about how they looked in the new game.
Oh my god. It's just like
well,
don't
they
worry about it,
changed.
mate.
Wow, it's super interesting, right? Because they changed some of the gun models, but then the skins were made for a previous.
I was
going
to say, did they change the skin then?
Well, I think
as well?
basically it might. I can't remember what the solution was in the end, but I don't know whether it was that or whether I read that they were talking about doing it for some skins would revert back to the old gun model.
Right. That's weird, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah, because you kind of think they would remodel the skin onto the new gun.
Well, it's interesting because they're mostly community-made skins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very rarely does Valve make them on their own. Well, no, it's probably not true. They probably make a lot of the lower-end ones nowadays, but a lot of them are like upvoted in the community workshop. And
right.
That Valve did a competition recently. So the case you opened was the Dreams and Nightmares case. That was a competition case.
Okay.
And every skin in that was selected from the community workshop, and the ones that were selected got like, I can't remember how much it was, like 100 grand.
Fucking hell. That's insane.
Yeah, so all of those. So the one that you badmouthed and said little piece of shit, someone spent time designing that.
Well, it was more the state of the skin rather than the actual skin itself. And, some of them look hideous. But,
yeah, but that's
more for me because they've made 100 grand and I'm sat here slagging off their skin.
That you paid £2 for.
Yeah, they're the one fucking laughing.
Yeah, but also like there's different rarities. So the rarer ones are meant to look better, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
you can't just go and pick amazing ones for all of them.
No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I get that. Well, that was good, man. Like we should crack on and play a bit more of that this week.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where Counter-Strike 2 goes, man. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting.
Oh, we could do a recap episode later on in the year.
Yeah, mate.
Next year.
10 years. We'll do a episode like 300 and whatever. No, it'd be like fucking 1,000 or something. It's just like, yeah, this is what
we took a break.
Yeah, we had a little hiatus to play Counter-Strike. Right, Reflect Selects this week is going to go to a game called Spirity. Now, this is out on Switch and PC. No, it's not. That's a lie. It's out on everything, and it's out on Game Pass as well.
Oh, it is on Game Pass?
Yeah. So it's coming out on Game Pass. It's coming out on the 13th of November, so the Monday after this episode airs. It's developed by Cheese Master Games. Not heard of these before. They've not done anything before that I could find. To give you a little overview of it, I don't know if you've seen the trailer.
It looks great.
It does look great. So it's very Stardew Valley / Studio Ghibli.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say it's kind of it's like got some simulation / management to it, but it's like a top down, very much in the style of Stardew Valley, like pixel art, but slightly different color palette.
Yeah.
Not as, I wouldn't say it's as the sprites are as nice as Stardew, but that's doing it disservice. It still looks like a lovely game. But looking at the sort of like overview of the gameplay, it's I've got a few bullet points here. So solving the spirits' problems. To remember themselves, they'll need anything from some spicy noodles to finding and digging up their lost treasures. So get your problem-solving hat on. So there's like little spirits that are dotted around the world, and you've basically got to try and help them remember what they are and who they are.
Yeah,
and you just help them
with their unfinished business.
Yeah, exactly. And then you sort of like, that's the crux of the game. So you're going around this area doing that, but there's also like these little management sections. Like I think you can do some like building and foraging and crafting and stuff like that. But it's got like a constant sort of narrative running through it to get you from point A to B.
Yeah,
which I've said 100 times before, but more survival games should do this, because it gets tiring when you just don't know what you're doing and you're just surviving for the sake of it, if you know what I mean. I know this isn't specifically a survival game, but games that are like, you know, like farming simulators, that sort of thing, like Stardew had it did it really well, like the different areas you can go to. Yeah, the townspeople all have their own schedules. They have likes, dislikes, hobbies, that sort of thing.
Bit more like Animal Crossing.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a bit of that in there. Managing the bathhouse. So you'll need to clean towels, chop wood to heat the baths, and seat the spirits with their friends for the ultimate bathing experience. I mean, that sounds like the cutest thing ever. Upgrading and decorating. The local shops can make a whole lot of cool furniture and help you fix up your house. Make your new house your home. So it's got a bit of that in it as well.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. It's out on everything and Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, you can just give it a try. Looks really, really cool. Looks like a nice chilled little winter warmer, doesn't it?
Yeah, I love those sorts of games.
Yeah. So I'll definitely be trying that. Could be a good Switch game.
It would be good. I was just thinking that it would be a great Switch game.
I think Carly's going to get it on Switch, and I'll probably try it on Game Pass. But yeah, that's Spirit T. So it's Spirit and then TEA, and it's out on Monday, the 13th of November.
Lovely.
What have you got coming out this week, mate?
Well, it's almost like I planned it. I have a highlights video coming out that is a compilation video transitioning between Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Counter-Strike 2.
Ooh,
with
I like
a
it.
catchy little title called CSGO to CS2, out with the old, in with the new.
Oh, nice. I hope people actually read it like that, because that's great. You must have been like so happy when you come up with that. That's fantastic, mate. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and mostly I just wanted to make it because I was like planning it for a bit when I was last playing CSGO. I was like, I wanted to get some clips on each map so I could try and make a clip video that flips between the old map and the new map and sort of show similar areas. So the clips aren't the greatest clips, but it was mostly made, like, you know, in terms of skill and stuff like that. But they were mostly made because I wanted to sort of do a map comparison type thing. Lovely
stuff, mate. Is there any of us in there?
Not in this one. This was actually from before. Before you played it. I only played it for a little bit.
You didn't want me to one up your skills.
No, but I have just finished editing a Counter-Strike video called Reflect's First Game Since Source. So
oh, lovely stuff, mate.
Keep an ear out for that one too.
Oh, keep an eye out for that. Wicked. So that's out on Loot the Truth this weekend. Socials, hey there, Reflect on Twitter and Instagram. You can give us a follow there. We're working on them. They're slowly coming along. Other than that, that'll do us for this week. So thanks everyone for listening, and thanks as always, Con, for joining. And we'll see you all. Sorry, I cut you off there.
That's all right.
We'll see you all in episode 36.
Roll out.